Okay, hi everyone and welcome to Gambling TV. We're joined today by Sue Yoxall, who's a co-founder and executive director at mkodo. How are you, Sue?
I'm all right, Luke. Thank you. Thanks for the introduction.
Good, it's good to speak to you. We want to just talk through a little bit about what mkodo is doing in terms of products, new markets and all that sort of thing. But I wondered if we could just start with quite a simple question about, just to help our listeners really. Just if you could give a quick overview of what it is you do, particularly for the gambling industry.
Yes, so mkodo, we have been a mobile-first player engagement company since 2001. And what we do these days is make world-class apps and digital products in the lottery, casino, sportsbook, and other gaming markets.
Okay, and so going back maybe a year or so, you were acquired by Apollo Banknote. Instinctively, that would sort of consolidate your focus on lotteries. I know you traditionally were very focused on lotteries, but I understand from talking to you, you want to move not away from lotteries, but also focus a bit more on betting and gaming. Is that right?
Well, over the course of the year, so we started our journey in real money gaming back in 2007 with Rank Group, and we've remained a mobile partner with them since that time. So we have always been in the casino and bingo and sportsbook markets as well. And so that is an area that remains of interest to us. Yes, we do have a strong focus in the regulated lottery market, and we have some of our key clients in that market. And clearly, yes, Pollard Banknote, our parent company, that is their key market. So yes, we have a strong focus there. But the other verticals are also of interest to the regulated lottery sector. So it's not that the two worlds don't meet.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Rank Group and a couple of others. Before we talk about where you're going, do you want to give a bit of a rundown about some of the key stuff you've done for clients over the last few years?
Yes, so we work on the lottery apps for example, British Columbia and Western Canada. We have worked for a long time on the Mecca Bingo apps, native apps in store for Rank Group and for the Grosvenor Casino apps. Yeah. So these are the sort of areas. We also do some consultancy, particularly around our expertise in app store submissions. There was a lot of noise in the industry over the last couple of years when Apple started enforcing regulations related to their, some of your viewers may know this, the 4.2, 4.7 guidelines. Yeah. And as experts in that area of App Store submission, we've been able to help people with either consultancy or obviously our own clients in how to create fully compliant apps.
Okay, it's interesting you mentioned the Apple thing, actually. I was going to say, before we talk about new markets, perhaps we can talk about why the landscape is so conducive to you doing well at the moment. If you think about stuff that Apple are bringing in, different rules around native apps, all the talk about different online markets opening up, even the COVID situation, how people are so much more interested in that sort of online migration now. Why is the time now for mkodo to sort of press ahead with what it's doing?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the situation in the world has been challenging for everyone, but one of the things that has come out of that is an increased usage across the generations of digital entertainment. So there's been many more hours. I believe it was 200 billion hours in April last year was one of the numbers I saw, an all-time high of people using mobile apps in their daily lives and for their entertainment. And it's become an important thing for people. Yeah. So the operators and so the commercial sportsbook and casino operators and the lotteries, where they don't have a digital presence, have seen that that's been something that's been important for them to address. So again, that is where we as a company come in, because that's what we do, design and make world-class digital products. So yes, there has been an increase from that point of view. There's also, as you mentioned, there are markets opening up around the world for this type of entertainment. So we saw the excitement around PASPA being repealed in the States, in America, a couple of years ago, and increasingly more states are coming on board to pass regulation to enable the legalized use of those products, the online gaming products. We have close to home for us, we have markets such as Netherlands and Germany this year opening up with regulation in that area, Ukraine a little bit further out. And then on the other side, you've got, for example, the Google Play Store, announcing, in fact, from Monday, the 1st of March, announcing that 15 more countries will be able to advertise real money gaming products in their in Google Play Store.
Okay.
So previously in those countries, if you wanted an Android app, so an app on your Android phone, it would have to be downloaded from a website, whereas now it can be submitted into the store, which is clearly a better situation for people looking for that brand.
Okay. I mean, you mentioned the US, obviously, and I think what you said before about regulated lotteries and sports betting gaming being very much one and the same, and probably the US is the biggest example of that in terms of where the regulators are in the States and all that sort of thing. If we talk, I want to talk about where you mentioned some of the other markets as well. What are sort of the biggest focuses for mkodo coming into 2021, which are sort of the most exciting ones as you see it?
And it's always exciting to go to be at the forefront of creating the digital presence for a brand, or indeed for a government, if it is the government. It's exciting to be with them as they put out their first products to citizens in that marketplace, and to help them keep that or have a competitive edge against all the other people that may be coming into that market. So for us, it's exciting to work with people from the beginning, from the design of what they're looking to do on their digital presence, and then to work through the build with them and to get those products out to the citizens. It's good to be part of that journey.
But what countries specifically would be sort of your top 2 or top 3 countries for this year?
We would look at at America. That's a slower process, I would say, than other places, because there's a lot of regulation. There's a lot of players in the ecosystem that we have to interact with to actually put a full solution together. So, for example, the platform partners, the games providers. So all of those people need to come together, and it's just it's just a slow process, but it's so we would look at working through that with people. That's an exciting market, and we would love to go close to home to we're talking with people in the Netherlands and in Germany. Those are exciting markets.
Okay. And if you contrast those, so if you look at America and then those closer to home, as you say, what are the comparisons in terms of what the players expect from products that you would be involved in? Are there big differences?
I think it's the same. It's the same everywhere. So there are nuances in terms of the type of entertainment and the markets that you might find actually on the products themselves. But in both cases, you're trying to provide the best possible digital experience. So for us, people would start with a website, but then for us, it's the native apps where you would get the best possible experience in both markets. The key thing is you have there the discoverability. So players want to be able to go onto a known source like a Play Store or an App Store and find the brand. So that's the same in both places.
Yeah.
It's then critical that you have the onboarding process and the registration and deposit processes as really slick customer journeys in both those markets. Safety is key. So, and it's a key message from why these markets would want to be licensed in the first place. So having the responsible gaming tools up front and obvious to people in these products is the same. People going to trusted brands would be the same. So where there's a land-based presence, those people will do well in those markets. Where there's a government, those people, when it's a government lottery, there's a brand that people trust, so they will do well. And then a couple of other things that are important would be clearly performance and the convenience of using native apps. So the native apps would give better performance, and that's what customers want when they first use something, and the convenience of using things like Face ID, biometric login, Apple Wallet, this kind of thing. Those are the areas. And again, as I say, that's the same across
all markets,
the different countries. Yeah.
Okay. And I just had a question about sort of new rules. We mentioned at the start about Apple, and then we mentioned Google Play. For a company like yours, I assume a lot of it is a company taking quite a basic website offering and then perhaps coming to you guys to make this a better digital experience, native apps, make the whole thing better. When you see all these new stuff come in, do you treat it like this is a big opportunity for you because it actually makes people more reliant on your expertise, your consultancy for making the best of it, or is it a disruption? How does it normally work?
So yes, it's certainly an opportunity for companies with our level of expertise. There aren't many companies in the world that can combine an understanding of the domain, so the real money gaming domain or the lottery domain, as well as a real understanding of how you build an excellent native app. That's quite a specialist skill, and the combination of the two is not something that there are many places you can go to, many companies you can go to in the world to get. So yes, from our point of view, we certainly work on the website as well. There are a broader range of people that do that, but again, we're combining that knowledge of the technology and the continuous change that may happen with that technology, along with the domain expertise.
Okay, so where is the balance at the moment in markets you are in terms of websites versus apps? Because just off the top of my head, a few years ago, it was like apps were all the rage and it was going to be a massive thing. And then it almost went back to everyone using the websites. And I don't know if it was something technical with the apps, but are they sort of that going back the other way? I see
where you're coming from. Yeah, there's a couple of things there. I think when people are trying to get up and running really quickly, quite often the quickest route to doing something is to, especially when platforms come with a level of front end, is to put a website out in the marketplace, and it may be a very vanilla version of that. It may be something that's quite standard that goes out, but I think for some people it's a speed of putting something out in the marketplace that had led to websites going first. And of course, you want to have a website. There are people, even though 80% plus of markets that people are playing on mobile, even if it's a website, you still want to have some access on desktop as well. So it makes sense. I think also there was people may have been put off the idea of apps when all of the noise was about how difficult it was with the 4.7 guideline issue. I think there was a noise in the marketplace where people were being put off. It felt too difficult to create apps. Whereas that's just not the case if you come to a company like us who knows how to do it. So it's this myth that we've all been through this process now. The games providers understand about the game bundling into Apple's resources and so on. And remember that's just on the App Store as opposed to on Google Play as well. So I think there was I think that did put people off apps for a time, and now it's coming back because it's important. People are understanding the importance to get to the differentiation of their products and to be able to provide the convenience and the performance and the better experience of an app. So once you've got something out there, it's okay. Well, let's really understand what the players want, and what they want is this elevated experience.
Okay. And then just as a final question, if we talk about sort of your goals for this year, what would you say are what's your top goal for the rest of the year? What do you want to happen?
Get out of lockdown? I don't.
Yeah, well,
sorry, not my personal one.
The sun's out today, so that's nice. Well,
yes, everybody having a healthy world. So the top goals for the company would be to continue to establish ourselves, to continue to service the clients that we have in the best possible way, to bring to them the best innovation that we can within the apps and the products they have with us, to continue to provide excellent customer service to those clients we have, but then to grow from that business, to share our skills, to gain clients within obviously continuing within the regulated lottery space, but also in the commercial sportsbook and
Great. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed it today, so thank you.
Thanks a lot, Luke. Thank you.